Yeah.
What's up, team? It's your boy Double R, man, with the homie.
Fred the G, what's good, team? Mafia.
Battle Rap Mafia in the building. So, man, let's talk about it, Fred. Swamp versus New Jersey Twork, man. They said that this battle is supposed to be after Tay Rock and Swamp. Some people said that, well, there was rumor out there that said that Tay Rock and Swamp wasn't going to go down, but Swamp confirmed that he still won a battle, and so did Tay Rock. So let's talk about it, Fred. Twork versus Swamp after the Tay Rock battle with Swamp.
The hater versus the hater maker. Twork the hater. Remember he said, I'm a hater. I hate Swamp. I'm hating on him. Remember?
Yeah.
When he did that vlog, they were like, yeah, I hate that nigga. Knock this nigga down. Knock all that off. He ain't gonna be remembered no more after this battle.
But rewind this thing back, Fred. I'm trying to remember how this all started again. Maybe you can refresh my memory.
Because Swamp beat Ace. That's that third little boy.
Yeah.
And he beat Cuban. He beat two niggas out to do this.
You said he beat Ace, and he beat
Cuban. Cuban left the Goonies. Hey, both the niggas he beat left the Goonies. They say Swamp the reason why the Goonies breaking up. Well, he said they the reason.
Yeah, and ever since then, New Jersey was going on the rant, talking about he had trashed Swamp, and this, that, and the third. You know, and I advised Swamp, and I still advise Swamp to, get a little, and that's the only way. We were just talking about how we think Swamp should sit out and wait, and this, that, and the third. But I'm kind of torn in between the two because it's like I want him to wait and get what he rightfully deserves, because I know as a competitor that that's the type of things. If you get what you want, you're gonna show up for what you want.
Yeah,
if you don't get what you want, you gonna half-ass it, or you may show up, you may not show up, depending on how you feel. But you know a nigga gonna show up if he get what he want, if he get the battle that he want. You see what I'm saying? But I do advise Swamp to get some type of, get a few more battles in. Don't sit on it, don't rest on your morals, and then jump in there with a nigga like New Jersey. Because we could say what we want about New Jersey. When New Jersey is on it, he damn near impossible to beat.
Yeah, you're right.
And if he loses to New Jersey, this can be the end of a start of a very promising battle rap career.
Yeah.
But then you telling me something about Swamp is saying that he's gonna leave battle rap.
After this year, so he said he don't care. See, that's what he said. He don't care. He rather face somebody he want to face and lose than to face a bunch of niggas he don't want to battle. He rather face the real competition. He don't want nobody lying. So don't be giving me this peon talking I'm the greatest. Fuck that. Give me a shark. Let me see if I'm a great white. You know what I mean? Let me see if I'm a killer. Let me see if I'm a killer with. See if I can handle this.
Taking chances is good, though. Taking chances is good, but the downside from that is, as we've seen, you can either end up like a fucking Jerry West, or you can end up like a Jack Boy Maine.
Like a prep.
Or like a prep. Or like a Prez Mafia. We can go on and on.
Oh shit, Prez Mafia, bro.
We can go on and on. But the thing is that I feel like Swamp has the it factor, and at the minimum, even if he don't win the battle, he definitely can make it into some classic material.
I agree.
He just have that talent. Some people just have the it factor, And if you, like I said, if you are showing up to a battle that you want to be in, that's another great thing.
And I like his start of the year better than anybody's.
But
he got Rock and then Twork. It's a dope start of the year.
I do feel that Swamp is a year removed from being able to compete with people like Twork, like Briz, like Chess. I feel like he's a year removed from that. I may be wrong. He may come in and shock us all. It ain't like it'll be the first time,
Yeah.
But I truly believe.
Reed had a shocking moment for us.
Yeah, but Reed been around though. You know, he's been around. This is a guy Swamp that's new. I ain't gonna say relatively new. He's new.
Yeah.
You know, but I personally feel like Swamp has great music. Like he should pursue a music career.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should too.
He could do both for real.
Definitely is that film. Now I said battle rapper. I'm saying he could dominate.
But Fred, he could do both though. He could possibly do both.
Yeah, I also think that with how Swamp is, he's so mature and so much smarter than a lot of these rappers that I think that can overcome his inexperience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His maturity in the way he writes.
He gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, I'm sure he can. Yeah, he don't need as much time as them niggas to get that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He a dude that learned his own limitations early. That's what I think Swamp did. He knew his own weaknesses. Like he said, I needed to up these bars. I need to do these. I gotta have this also. Oh my God, bro.
What?
I just got some news that just popped up.
Breaking news.
I was just watching this dude. Rest in peace to an artist. You want me to go ahead and break that?
What's the news?
A lot of people don't probably know a rapper called Pop Smoke. Yeah, the dude just said this. Master.
Master. Salute to Master.
In the home invasion. He just got in the home invasion rapper. I just been listening to his music the past 2 days. Not that I so much like him, but some things I listen to, he pop up on my playlist. So I check out a couple of his songs. I just seen something with him. I just seen something with him, bro. Dang.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about saying you're talking too much. You see, that's the shit you're talking about that Trayvon shit. I ain't talking about this man. I'm saying like you can't be flossy. You can't be too flashy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like King Masalusa.
Yeah.
Going around with all that gold, and then somebody follow you back, you know, being envious of you, of what you got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why we talk. We talk to be what? Conservative. Like, just I got money, I got a wallet, or I got a card, or I got a safe. I don't just walk around with $1,000 and standing in my hand. I don't put a whole bunch of money to my head like I'm using a phone when I'm not. Like, some stuff we gotta get out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Punch him, Charles. Too much attention draws all the snakes to you. Exactly. Yeah, man. Dang, I don't even
But was this so was the dude Pop Smoke?
He's an industry rapper. He's an industry rapper.
Oh, okay. I heard about him, but I ain't really listening to his music.
He wasn't dope like a lyrical artist. He more like now you get the hype music now.
Yeah.
Like the music that's right now. So see go back to Pastor Twork for crunk music, right? He started crunk music.
Yeah.
Then you had Little John come and carry it after him. So now a lot of the stuff you hear these dudes doing now, with mostly like the beats, like what the Migos are doing. They doing a version of crunk music without using like the crunk terms.
Yeah.
And also they doing it with being less lyrical. See, Pastor Twork was the most lyrical crunk rapper in rap history. You know what I'm saying? Out of crunk rappers. That's why people down south respected Pastor Twork, especially that album he dropped when he was 16.
What y'all know about Pastor Disaster, people?
Well, you know, I
already know, Fred. That's your area right there, Fred.
I'm surprised you know about him, boy.
Pastor Disaster, man. Yeah. I know about him because my brother and my sister and them is big fans of him.
That's the land, bro. That first CD, 16 years old.
That motherfucking Vice Versa. That was my favorite joint.
Yeah, for that Vice Versa, but that was showing you how lyrical he was. See, people that didn't respect people down south for having any kind of lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And with that type of song, it shows you that we can see different perspectives just like anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why I had to take that. But see, when you had Outkast, Goody Mob, pretty much Outkast, just those two alone right there should have been enough to show the lyricism down south. Like the same thing Swamp doing now, showing a different version of how to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why I rock with him, because he's niggas finna something battle rap. Don't think that we can't battle rap too, of course. Why not? Yeah, definitely RP to
Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke. Yeah, man, because nigga don't know what really happened with all the extra home invasion up to the party was only hit really. Yeah, he had a few songs. I see that's what I'm saying. Like you heard the Welcome to the Party. Like, I ain't even heard that one yet. I listened to a lot of his other songs. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just certain songs. I think do you got that Dior? That's his song. That song called Dior. I think that's his song. Yeah, Carlos Sousa definitely lost the read. That's a fact.
Yeah, they said he died in a home invasion robbery.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, this how many people live. Now look at that, Double R. I know we talking about Swamp, but we also talking about how our own kind hinder us from the balance that we need. That our own kind want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to Pop Smoke, Carlos. Pop Smoke got killed in the home invasion this morning.
He said the rapper was at home in the Hollywood Hills around 4:30 a.m. when two men were wearing hoodies, masks, broke into the house. This is according to law enforcement sources. We are told that two men fired multiple shots, striking and critically wounding Pop Smoke. The men were seen fleeing on foot. Pop Smoke was rushed to the ambulance at, I don't know, what they say, Sinai Medical Center in West Hollywood, where he was pronounced dead. Damn.
And this what I want to say about that Double R. Like, since we on this topic, we really got to talk about this, man. Because it's a shame, because this is our culture. You see what I'm saying? Like, industry rap and battle rap is one thing. No matter what people say, it belongs to our culture. That's us.
Yeah, it's intertwined. It's all together.
You know what I mean? Anything bad happen to it, it's gonna fall on us.
Anything that got to do with our people is going to all fall poorly on us. That's why people always get to acting like these old timers. They get to acting like those ain't my kids. Them not my kids. At the end of the day, they are your kids biblically, but they are your kids in the sense of they're your culture.
Yeah.
So your culture reflects poorly on you because a lot of these old timers don't even realize it's because of you that they are acting this way. Because of your generation, that this new generation is acting this way. The generations before didn't put this newer generation in a better predicament. A lot of these younger kids, man, they come up self-taught. I'm one of them, so I know. As we just seen with Mac Miller, we seen he's not a part of our culture, but Juice WRLD, we seen with Fredo Santana, we seen with this young guy right here. We continuously see with the lean, with the making poor decisions. You hearing stories about Kodak Black. You hearing stories about NBA YoungBoy. There's a lot of shit going on, man. That's because they not grabbing these young motherfuckers, man. They so busy. The old timers so busy trying to rekindle their childhood.
Exactly.
That they enter teenager. That they not really, man. Like, look at a lot of the old heads. They dressing like young niggas.
Yeah.
Talking like young niggas, acting like young niggas just to get the young females, man.
Sad.
And what example is that setting? Now we hear about this young dude, and then it's like senseless crimes. This nigga got shot in a home invasion robbery. by some stupid ass niggas. And then motherfucking Juice World, he one of his men gave the police the scoop on his motherfucking plane. I think it's plane or the tour bus. And this nigga had guns, had drugs. They said the nigga tried to down all the drugs before the police came and overdose. Stupid shit. Stupid shit. Now we hearing about this shit. What you was about to say, Fred?
It just hearing
sad.
it like this what happens. Like I think a lot of people get like this. There's no loyalty in the streets, but not just that. I think people think like the industry is like Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. They think you can kill somebody and like eventually they'll come back alive. They're not coming back alive.
I don't think people understand. I'm glad you just said that, Fred. I don't think people Grand Theft Auto. I don't think people understand how much these reality television shows and these video games and shit have an influence on the culture. Like niggas be literally like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. My little brother, I had him in here and he was watching NBA YoungBoy music. And I'm like, he's glued. Like you can't get this nigga to be glued like that to do the shit that he need to do. But he glued onto a nigga that he don't even really know and that's living a whole nother lifestyle that he ain't even live, and he's trying to emulate that.
And it can't help him. You see what I'm saying?
But then you got an older brother. Yeah, you got an older brother that's right here trying to tell you,
exactly.
This is what's going on. You know, some people, in my little brother's case, you know, he didn't really have my mother just like me or my father. You know, he was raised by my grandmother, but as we all know, a woman can't do a man's job, especially at the state that my grandmother was in. You feel me? She had already raised me and my other brothers and sisters. So once she got to him, she was already pretty much, you know, sick and she passed through the stage 4 cancer. But, you know, he's out here trying to emulate and he glued people. And he said he wanted to be a rapper, right? So Fred, check this out, right? I told him, I said, go ahead and get your rap book. Go ahead and rap something. Rap something to me. You know this motherfucker froze up. I said NBA YoungBoy wouldn't do that. If I ask NBA YoungBoy right now to rap, let me hear something. He gonna freestyle something. He gonna rap because he really about that life. This is really his dream. This ain't your dream. You looking at him and you feel like that's your dream because you're watching him, because you want to be him. Be yourself. That's your problem. You feel me? And that's the problem with these young motherfuckers today. They so busy, man, and the white man knows that. The white man knows that. He knows that black people are looking for some type of inspiration. So we go try to find and search for everything. But the things that we searching for, it's good to search for inspiration. But it's what you're searching for. That's just like females. You know, it's good to go try to find a significant other. But it's what you're searching for.
My bad, brother.
You good, big bro. Hey,
okay.
Go ahead, read the chat for me, Fred.
All right, one second. Tell me the chat. Give me a second.
All right, let me go ahead.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead, rock, Fred.
I'm scared of God the most. Let me go back up a little bit. Rap music, Jay Blazing and Gaming. Rap music always had big effects on a lot of people. True. Mm-hmm. Brother, they won't show what brothers do to you. They don't show the part where it tear you from the inside out. Yeah, I bet they won't.
No, they're not gonna show that part because that part gonna expose them.
Yeah, that's gonna make you. It's just like you ever got some chicken or something one time. I know when I was like, sometimes this happened to me out of nowhere. I could be going to get a good old plate of food or anything, right? And I go get like some chicken wings or something, and I eat chicken, you know. But sometimes I look at it and I see chicken for what it is, and then I can't eat. I won't be able to eat. I'll be like, dang, I need to like go get a salad or do something else. Not saying I just like when I see it alive, I won't want to eat it. That's just how I am. That's something I had to learn about myself. That I can get like that. I'm trying to make it smell good, look good, and I can just like
see
nobody gonna want it.
See, the man is very good at The man is very good at excellent actually, at making you believe that what they've done wrong is your fault.
Yeah.
They're good at making you feel guilty for what they actually did. Like it's a bunch of niggas right now that's locked up in jail right now for crimes. But ask yourselves this. We're living in a land that was stolen by the very people that got them locked up in those cells.
Exactly. They have no right to judge you because they got to judge themselves to judge you.
They gotta be in there locked up with them.
Exactly.
So with that being said, we know the world is unfair, but is what we gonna do about it? And we can't look for them to help us. We gotta look towards each other, like Fred said.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the only way. That's our problem as black people now. We always looking at the white man to help us. It's not gonna happen. It's not supposed to happen. Biblically, it's not supposed to happen. They not our friend. They never was our friend. And the people that try to sell that shit to us, a la Martin Luther King, the people that try to sell that shit to us knew that they wasn't our friend, but they were just trying to advance in life.
That's what Dan said. But they killing each other instead of banding together. Yeah,
that's because black people don't trust each other. We don't trust each other. You know, when you have years and years and years of whitewash and manipulation and all that, you know, we are already in our captivity right now. This is our captivity. It's not supposed to be roses. You know, it's not supposed to be peaches and cream. But, you know, and one of the reasons why we're in our captivity right now is because we're defiant. It's because we want to do things that we know ain't good for us. And that's why I told y'all, it's funny to me and it's crazy to me how we'll spend money. We're the biggest consumers in this world, but the brokest people. It's funny how we'll spend money on shit to kill. Like right now, I tell people all the time, and thank y'all for hitting the like button. I tell people all the time to hit the like button. Me and Fred always tell people, smash the like button. Don't cost you a dime. But guess what though? People will go on all these other channels that ain't talking about shit and give them super chats. Send money to their PayPal. Give them money just to hear gossip, just to hear about shit that ain't gonna help us. Let me look at Kadeem's.
Yes.
He said kill political figures. Yeah. What you mean political figures? What are you talking about? Bill Cosby?
He said we haven't had a black assassin that will do this type of stuff. But we had a dude that tried to do something like that, but I don't know what.
Poncho Charles. Who's that say Poncho? Poncho Charles. He said quick to take from their own kind, but smile in the white man's face. Facts. That's all I'm saying. In a nutshell.
Yeah, that type of stuff. That happens all the time. Just like this brother, he was in the store ahead of me. He dropped some money. I could have said, "Oh, this is my opportunity to get money." I said, "Hey, bro, you got your money." You know what I mean? Because we gotta help each other. If I take that from him, I can take it and go do it if I want. But what if he need? What if dad taking that from him? Crush his family back home.
Yeah, we're cowards as people. We're cowards. The white man got us fighting over his crumbs, got us selling out on each other over his crumbs. And at the end of the day, I find that very amazing how the oppressor will trick the oppressed to believe, like a lot of these uppity ass Negroes, you know, these house niggas, they'll trick them into believing that the people that were oppressed with you is the ones that you should be worried about, is the ones that you shouldn't trust. That's some serious brainwashing and manipulation. Like me and you, Fred, we've been oppressed for years. And you actually get a good opportunity from the man. You get a good opportunity from the man. And then the man started tricking you believing that I'm your enemy. How the fuck is the oppressor, the person that got you in a predicament? I asked a nigga, right? He said, man, I don't believe all of that stuff. I believe that if you really try hard, you could really make it out. If you really put that work in, you could really make it out. I said, but why are you in a position to have to make it out to begin with, brother?
Yeah, why you can't establish where you at? Why you gotta get away from the trap? Because you're trying to get yourself out of a trap. Somebody put you in a trap. But who put you there?
That's what I was trying to ask him. He wouldn't say it though. He wouldn't say it. He would never say it. But we'd be quick to talk shit about each other. But every time you say something about the white man, oh, it's the white man. It's always, you damn right it is. It's crazy, man. Smash the like button, y'all. Like now. That should already be understood. The like button should already be understood. You feel me? But I know it's my people that smashed it. There's probably a few haters coming by and shit like that. And that's another thing. The hate ain't gonna get us nowhere. Hold on, Katine Fives, he said, we gotta learn more trades for our own. Yeah. You know what I told people, Fred? I said the worst thing, me and my OG was talking about this. The worst thing that the man has ever taught us, taught our parents, our ancestors, and our ancestors taught it to us. The worst two words was get a good job and a good education. The worst two sayings. Because essentially what you're doing is you're telling me to go work in the world to help the man build up his family. That's why it's never going to change until the Most High come back and wipe it out. It's not going to change because we always groom our kids to continue the cycle of, helping the white man in his businesses, his corporations, instead of showing our kids a way. And you show your kids a way by starting up your own business, investing in your own business, so your kids will have something to fall back on and won't have to worry about being up in your enemy's company. Continuing the trend of helping him live out his dream so he can help his kids live out their dream, and so forth and so on. That's what we're doing. We're grooming a generation of employees while they're grooming a generation of CEOs. And bosses. Yeah. I seen these little sisters, man, in the college, their graduation and woo. And I'm looking at it and I'm shaking my head. Because you don't realize what you're doing is you're being trained and being groomed to work in their world. You think you really made it. You ain't never made it unless you really got your own. You ain't never made it. What they do in school? They tell you, wear their uniform, tuck in your shirt, make sure shit is properly ironed, make sure you got a nice shade. What they tell you at work? Make sure you tuck in your shirt. Make sure you got that company shirt on. Make sure you got a nice clean shade. Cover your hair up so it won't get in the food. Meanwhile, they doing what you supposed to be doing. They bossing up and they got their own businesses and they passing it down to their kids. But that one thing I don't never see the old heads taking responsibility for that. I don't never see them taking responsibility for the kids being in the predicament that they in. But they always talking about the kids did this, the kids did that. Who led them there? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the world. It's a bunch of finger pointing. You got the sisters. They out here pointing fingers. You try to correct the sisters on how they dress, how they wearing their hair, how they acting, how they being scandalous. Guess what they do? Well, y'all ain't saying that to the white woman. Y'all ain't saying that to the Asian woman. I'm talking to you. They not my concern. I'm talking to you. You try to address the so-called thugs. Yeah, but y'all ain't saying this to that. I'm talking to you. Where the fuck was you at when Trayvon Martin got shot? Where was you at when Nipsey got shot? Like, come on, man. Poncho said segregation was the worst thing to happen to black folks. We want. Hold on, what he said? We want to stick together. I guess he meant to say we won't stick together.
Yeah, but yeah, it's hard. It's more like this. Like, all right, separated, right? Separated. Mm-hmm. We can learn amongst our peers without being taught hatred, right? Right, and we was segregated, right? Mm-hmm. So then, and what I mean is like, it's like the time when we thrive the most in this society that we're living in is when we were separated. Now, I'm not saying that to say that there's no other way. I'm saying that to say that factually happened. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it actually happened. You can actually look back and see what we own our own towns and stuff, which we already had before they ever came. It's just that after what people, a lot of people fail to realize is that after we come out of the situation of bondage, of a more of a physical bondage, like we still in a physical bondage, but more of a physical bondage of you can't leave this land without paying me money. You can't do this without paying me like a passport. You need a passport to leave the land because you're a slave. You see what I'm saying? So you have to pay them to leave because they own you. That's why you gotta pay them.
Nah, people don't even realize, Fred, that we're in a lifetime debt. We're part of the white man's debt. You know how many motherfucking places that they own, how many countries they own, China in particular.
Man,
that own this fucking country because we in debt. We in a fucking massive debt, and black people are a part of that debt.
Yeah, and see the thing is like this. It's like when this country you make an agreement and then you in the middle of the contract you cancel it. But yeah, the people that built the house for you already. But you gonna live in the house, but you don't compensate the people for building the house for you. You see what I'm saying? So now you do this and you don't pay them, and then what the script say, you gonna reap what you sow, right? So then now you owe these people and it ain't about getting it. It's about the fact of seeing why they're in a situation that they're in, and I say them because hey, this wasn't your time to rule, so that ain't your problem. You know what I mean?
People don't even understand that this is a multi-billion-dollar business. Like that's what people always talk about. They gonna cut this and they gonna cut that and they gonna cut these benefits. Like they don't even really understand that how much that shit is worth. You know, food stamps, Section 8, motherfucking all the shit. Black poverty, black struggle as they call it, is a multi-billion-dollar business. That shit ain't going nowhere.
We was talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
And in the hood, we went out to the south side to like a part of the rich part of the city, right? Mm-hmm. So we was out there, and the gas was so cheap, right? Yeah. It was so cheap. And I'm like, bro, as soon as we go across over here, the gas is gonna be like 40 cents higher. Cause they doing that because the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich. And you see what I'm saying? Like they might pay more money up front, but in the back end we get taxed all the money. Like your corner store costs more than their corner store. You see what I'm saying? But it costs more to them to live where they at than for you to live where you at. But how it balances out for them is they pay the extra cost because you can't afford it. You don't have all that money up front to pay it up front.
You know, it's the same thing when they trick you into believing that being an employee is an honorable thing. Like that shit is honorable. Like people be like, man, you need to get a job. Like why you ain't got no job? Like I say that too. I say that as well, you know, but involved in my situation. But I'm only saying that because, you know, if we work together, then we can build a team. But I'm not talking to those people that got kids. I'm not talking to those people that have debts that they got to pay off. I'm not talking about those people that, you know, that have business that they have to take care of, that they must take care of. And it's good as far as using it as a stepping stone. You know, working is good as far as using it, but don't make that the end all be all. Don't make that your last stop. Especially if you're in a position like I am, where you don't have no kids, where you don't really have no barriers stopping you from really maximizing. And we sometimes we give up. Most of the time, we give up, and we start looking down on other people when we actually do get at what we think is a good point in our lives. You know, but at the end of the day, you still a nigga. I always tell people that, man, you still a nigga and they gonna still treat you like that, regardless. You know, I got cousins and shit like that. They got a motherfucker hide and duck out of work. You know, I had a cousin. My cousin was supposed to give me some bread, and she came to give me some bread and shit. And she was like, "Yeah, I gotta wait till my boss, you know, ain't looking. so I can come duck out of work. Why the fuck you spend all them years in college just to duck out of fucking work? This is what they don't tell you though. They tell you go to school, they tell you to do all this and all that, but they don't tell you they still gonna get treated as if they was in fucking school, as if they was a fucking child. You see what I'm saying? You gotta duck out of work. She's a psychiatrist too. She's a psychiatrist at Howard University College. I gotta duck out of work. I gotta duck out of work to come get you. Nah, I thought you was this. I thought you was that. You shitting on everybody else. You think you better than everybody else. But you gotta duck out of work. Why you spend all those years in college? You making all this money and you still getting told what the fuck to do and what not to do. I'm making way less money than you, but guess what? I can do this video all damn day if I want to. You know, like not to shit on nobody, but at the end of the day, like you got to watch how you talking to people, man, and then you got to get the word. You got to get what's really going on. And what really is going on is that, man, these people is not your friend, and you still a nigga. You ain't no better than nobody else. But stay woke, yeah, most definitely. Poncho Charles said that, Fred.
You just stay woke.
Stay woke.
Straight up.
You know, but let's get back to this topic, man. We done dived into some other shit, but we needed that conversation. Yeah. But rest in peace to Pop Smoke, man.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that's a big rest in peace, bro. Because the dude ain't been. He ain't been popping for like 3. He ain't like he been on for 3 years and now, like 10 years in. He just started his run. Look how many people been dying that's just not started. Juice WRLD was new. Pop Smoke new. The other XXL is new. Extension.
I forgot about him. I forgot about XX.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's new. Them new people. Look how many we just had. Kobe go, and then we just had like 2 other famous people die. Willow from Good Times.
You said who?
The lady from Good Times, the black lady from Good Times. Willona.
Oh, you talking about Willona, yeah.
Willona, she died.
Ain't
somebody else died too.
Willona, boy. There was some fine sisters on Good Times, wasn't it? Malona and goddamn, what's her name? What's the other one name? The daughter. There was some fine sisters on Good Time, boy. Those were the good times, huh, people?
And the thing is, the reason what made them good times is because we had good shows that was more character for us. Authentic. Even if you look at Family Matters and look at this stuff now, look at what we got now. Look at what black shows we got now. You got the fake real TV, right? The fake real TV where everybody doing what the hell they want to do, but none of the people nobody living as a family. There's stuff we see people having different niggas every night, girls with different niggas every night. All the dudes in the house sitting with all the chicks in the house. The dudes in the house fighting each other. All of this stuff. You know what I mean? Just
modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day Babylon.
Just under one roof and with a camera in there. You put a camera in there. Somebody put you in a house and say,
this all the world is pretty much about, especially in the industry. This all the world is pretty much about money and exposing and trying to so-called expose or confirm the stereotypes of their own stereotypes of the black community. That's all it's about, man. And it's so sad because these fucking actresses and actors and celebrities and shit take on these fucking remedial roles for money just to sell us out, just to sell our race under the fucking river. You know, it's sad, man. But these are the ones that motherfuckers will argue you up and down about. Oh, you can't say this about Monique. Oh, you can't say. Now you see Monique, she out here trying to go at Oprah and trying to half-ass act. When they boot their ass out, they be trying to half-ass act like they really care.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't never cared. You got boot the fuck out. That's why you trying to act like you care. What you really hoping is that they give you a call back up and ask you to come back. It's crazy, man. But yeah, man, salute to the mafia, man. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke, and we'll holler.